Welcome to Make a Path Presents. My name is Ronnie Hayes, and today, let's talk Daryl Dixon dying in Season 6 of The Walking Dead. Alright, Deadheads, recently the winner of 2016 issue of the official Walking Dead magazine was released, and I got to about page 10, and there was something interesting that I want to add to the discussion of Daryl Dixon dying. Now, this isn't new, it's not surprising, not him dying, what I'm going to talk about. Now, we do know that the two biggest picks for, well, at least on this channel, for the death at the hands of Negan, the big death at the end of Season 6, that's from the comic book, were Morgan and Daryl Dixon. Now, Daryl Dixon has been a fan favorite for a while now, just because of the impact it would have to, you know, the rabid Daryl fangirls and also the Daryl fans and pretty much the fandom in general, because even outside of the strictly Daryl Dixon fans, which that encompasses a good chunk of his fan base, which is unfortunate. I don't really get along with those fans, and I'll be brutally honest. That's something I shouldn't say. You know, as a content creator, you're generally supposed to kiss everyone's ass. Keep in mind, if you love Daryl Dixon, you're a fan of Daryl Dixon, you might not be the version of the fan I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fans that will never support Norman Reedus in anything he's doing. Like recently I got into an argument with a Daryl Dixon fan, and I told them that, you know, Norman's in an awesome looking movie called 999 coming out with Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, and their response to this was, now keep in mind, their whole argument was the show should, you know, Rick should die and Daryl should take over, and their argument was Daryl is the main character of The Walking Dead, and they love, you know, Daryl Dixon. And my argument was, listen, if you want more of this character, check out 999, check out Air, which was made by Skybound, the company that owns the, you know, the comic version of The Walking Dead. And their response was like, who the hell wants to do that? I want Daryl Dixon. I don't want him as some other character. That is the fan I just cannot tolerate. The one that you're not a fan of Norman Reedus, you know. In any other projects, you're a fan strictly of Daryl Dixon in this universe. Again, I just want to clarify, because I'm a Daryl fan. I've been a fan of Norman Reedus years ago. It's the fans that do not appreciate the actor, but somehow love, you know, the character. It gets a little weird. Anyhow, so he's a big pick for the big death. And then Morgan. Now, Morgan on this channel, it was basically a byproduct of me bringing that up at the end of Season 5, because Morgan was such a mysterious character and so many fans were interested. Morgan was a hot topic. He was one of my most viewed videos when he was still a mystery back in Season 5. Lots of fans wanted to know about Morgan, and so I thought it was a very emotional, heartbreaking idea to have Morgan come back into the fold, become part of the group, become a loved character in the group, and die somehow. Not somehow, but at the hands of Negan. And I thought that would be heartbreaking. I still think it would be, and there's still a chance from episode 9 to episode 16, there's still a chance to do that. And it takes one episode. It takes that one episode to turn it around. A lot of fans right now are mad at Morgan because he's not a vicious, you know, psycho killer, which is weird. But anyway, so again, it's still possible that Morgan could take that death. And it would actually mean a lot if you break down the story and the effect it has. Now let's just take Morgan off the table, because right now I feel I am less confident it will be Morgan because of the way they're taking that character into a longer developing direction than a shorter one. Yeah, I do believe there's a lot more to develop with Morgan, and that's why I think there is a good chance he might make it out of Season 6 and not get the big death. Now look at Daryl Dixon. Let's just break this down. He has a new motorcycle show coming up. Now this is the thing that was in this magazine, and it's not news. I remember when I went to Madison Square Garden to watch the premiere episode of The Walking Dead, I remember talk about this, and he even rode his motorcycle onto the stage at Madison Square Garden. So this isn't news that he has a motorcycle show. but the more details that are coming out about this show, the more it's getting some fans nervous that it's going to be 6 episodes. Now, my question is, and I don't think this has been answered yet, is if this is going to be something that's going to continue. The way it's worded in here so far, it's only 1 season at 6 episodes, so that's pretty much doable under the schedule he has now. He could just do that in the off season. What makes it complicated if it gets to be multiple seasons and if they pick up more episodes, what complicates things, and I just want to throw this in here, the Daryl fans that get under my skin, they're the ones that won't be supporting this. And I've seen comments like that where fans are pissed off that he's doing something else, which is good for the actor, you know what I mean? Or, yeah, it's good for Norman, which portrays the character we all love, right? Yet you're going to shit on him when he does another. I don't get it. I don't get it, and it frustrates me. I am a strong believer in supporting the talent, which is Norman Reedus. I like him way more than Daryl Dixon, and I always will. Anyhow, he's got to go around on this show, this motorcycle show. He's got to go around to different areas, and they're going to be doing different things, and it might be time-consuming. With the way they're talking about it, here they just say, it's going to be called Ride with Norman Reedus. The 6-episode, 1-hour-long show will see the Walking Dead star, yada yada yada. He'll hit the open road as he explores local motorcycle culture across the United States, scheduled for a 2016 broadcast. The series will also showcase different types of motorcycles and yada yada yada. But see what I mean? He's got to hit the open road. This seems like a time-consuming adventure here. Did I screw up that word? Time-consuming. I feel like I screwed that up. Consuming. It feels time-consuming to have to do this. Now, I understand they're going to send other people ahead of him to pick out the areas, map the areas. A lot of this reality TV is faked. Now, it might not be fake, you know what I mean, but it's set up like a motherfucker, you know what I mean? Reality shows are either, completely fake, or at the very least, they're set up. People are going to be going and checking out the area for him, so that's going to eat away at some of the time-consuming efforts on his part. But if he's hitting the open road, if he's flying out to California or Arizona, or if he goes out to Texas, to New York, back over to California, maybe to Seattle, I mean, if he goes down to, I don't know, even if he comes to this area, like Raleigh, or if he goes up to Scranton in Pennsylvania, or over to Cleveland, or in Ohio. I mean, if he's going to all these different areas and bouncing back and forth, to me that seems like it's going to entail a lot if they continue with this in a series. That's the idea. He's going to be going into, I'm assuming he's going to be hitting up the big landmarks, and then some, like it says here, maybe some out-of-the-way spots, which would make absolute sense. Go to the places that don't get much light shined onto them. Maybe they have some kind of bike museum here, or bike rally here, or maybe some famous bike person was born here, and maybe they did this, or a stuntman did this. I don't know, but that looks pretty time consuming. So there's a lot of worry, and here is the nail in the coffin if you support this idea that the motorcycle show is the biggest hint that Norman Reedus, Daryl Dixon, will die on The Walking Dead. It's on AMC. This isn't like somebody else offered him a gig. You can take it as AMC loves Norman Reedus and they want him to continue what he's doing. They want to support him in something. And they came to him and they said, listen, we know that you said you would burn down the trailer and the set if you got killed off. So if you will avoid any arson activities, we'll give you a show. Now, I say that jokingly, but this is something that could have happened with AMC. They could have came up to him and said, listen, it's that time. But you did give us an out. You did say you were interested in doing this bike show. We will, get it going. We will put it on AMC. And maybe if he was lucky, he worked out a 2-season deal right off the bat, but they're not announcing it yet. They could just do the first season. With that said, I do believe that Norman Reedus should be able to handle a film career after this, but realistically, that might be an issue, knowing that there's fans that will only support him as Daryl Dixon, as unfortunate as that is. Knowing that there's fans that will only support him as Daryl Dixon, they might have played it safe and tested the waters with 999. They did Air, which unfortunately I don't think it did so well. And then they did, or they're doing this bicycle show. So I'm going to have to say, for the first time ever, I am finally starting to break away at the idea that Norman will absolutely live, up until All Out War. I am about 50% sure he will make it past this, but I'm now starting to feel about 50% that this might be the end of Daryl Dixon on The Walking Dead. So only season 6 will tell us the answers, especially the end of season 6, but there is a very good chance that Daryl Dixon will die in the season finale of The Walking Dead season 6. So I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about it? If you're a Daryl Dixon only fan and you will not support Norman Reedus, sorry I came at your neck, but I just feel off about that. I don't feel right about that. If you're a fan of Daryl Dixon, trust me, you will like him in other shit. Check out Norman Reedus in 999. Also, keep an eye out for our 2 very beautiful ladies from The Walking Dead gonna be in this Tupac biopic. And thoughts and opinions in that comment box about everything we just discussed. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.